Good afternoon. Most of us have not experienced the World War except in films. But what we are witnessing today is nothing but a war on a global scale where every country is fighting an invisible enemy in this coronavirus. What we have to remember that this is a warning for a similar situation could happen in the future. So whatever steps that are being taken, both at the country level and at the company level and plant level, may become a permanent contingency plan for us to be used in the future. The world has seen many attacks of the virus. We have had before this other types of viruses like the Ebola virus, MERS, SARS, and so on. But what makes coronavirus more dangerous is its ability to spread at a very fast rate. We have seen in a span of 3 months, ever since it became known, first in China, it has spread rapidly and captured the world in a way unprepared. Nearly 148 countries have been affected by it. 250,000 people have been diagnosed with this disease, of which the death toll has been rising, approaching about 10,000 people. Italy, which is a much smaller country than China, with 60 million people, has got casualties more than what China has experienced. In India, we have had 173 cases so far, largely from travelers arriving from overseas. And we have had 4 casualties. We should not think that we have been affected less because the numbers are less. We have to think that we are behind other nations by maybe a month or 2. In the address to the nation last night, the Prime Minister has rightly asked every citizen not to take this development lightly. He has appealed to everybody to maintain strict norms for keeping themselves isolated, not step out of the house for the next 2 weeks, except those whose work situation compels them to go. He has also asked all of us to avoid unnecessary visits to hospitals, which can be postponed so that the healthcare system does not have unnecessary load. He has also asked the people not to panic and start hoarding food and medicines. On the Janata curfew, which he has called for on 22nd, from morning 7 to night 9, he wants to use that opportunity also to convey the country's appreciation to the frontline workers led by the doctors, nurses, security personnel and others who are selflessly fighting this battle. Let us all join this national effort. Now coming to our companies, namely Lucas TVS, Delphi TVS, India Nippon Electricals, and Lucas Indian Service. We have over 13 plants all over the country. In addition, we have 30 offices of Lucas Indian Service virtually in every state in India. And together we have about 12,000 people working in these places, not taking into account our extended stakeholders like suppliers and dealers. Our HR department, along with the doctors, have taken a number of steps to implement measures recommended by the World Health Organization and the government guidelines. Some of these I'd like to list them out. First, we have banned all international travel and severely restricted domestic travel, almost banning it. Second, even those who have traveled, when they come back, they have been kept in quarantine before they reported for work. All the employees and visitors to the plants are being screened by a fully equipped security staff who are provided with masks and other outfits. Also our paramedical staff. The workplace is being disinfected periodically. Measures have been imposed in canteen with canteen workers provided with gloves and masks. Isolation ward has been prepared to isolate any employee who may show the symptoms. We have also taken steps to advise all pregnant women employees not to report for work, and all employees and consultants above the age of 60 are advised to work from home. The medical center is fully equipped with all medicines and staff ready to fight any situation. To avoid congestion in the workplace, we are also implementing work practices to minimize the number of shifts and with staggered working. Each one of us have a duty to ourselves, to our families, and to our communities. We have to follow all the directions given to us strictly. If we come into contact with any person who has had an international travel history from these affected countries, we must isolate ourselves and not report for work, whether we have a symptom or not. Needless to say, if we are not keeping well, there is no need for us to come to work and inform the HR department so that suitable guidance can be given to them. The same advice must be given by you to all your family members and the friends that you come into contact with outside the work situation. Our country is in a very crucial stage. The next 1 month is absolutely important. We are in stage 2 of the virus, where predominantly the infection is coming from visitors who arrive from other countries. Government and authorities have taken a number of steps to screen passengers arriving from all these international places and quarantining them. Now government has even announced for the next 2 weeks, no international flights can come into India. To prevent us to go into the stage 3, where the infection can spread within the community faster, even without international arrivals, it's absolutely important for us to practice what is called as social distancing. Social distancing is a term used to keep a distance between ourselves to prevent as much as possible the contagion to spread. The decision of the government to close cinema halls, educational institutions, tournaments, temples, and many other steps is aimed in this direction. We will be implementing some of these principles in our plant and reduce the congestion in the workplace. I would urge as an enterprise committed towards the welfare of not only ourselves, but also to the community, we should extend all assistance to the people around our plants in terms of giving them the help in case they need any support. People identified with COVID symptoms must be advised to isolate themselves and report to the authorities. Any food and other exigencies that are needed under those circumstances, the company should come forward to extend that help. The global auto industry is in a state of utter turmoil. All the major plants, vehicle plants in Europe and USA have been closed. This has not yet happened in India, but we should be mentally prepared for such a contingency should it happen. So far I have been speaking to you about all the dangers out of this virus and what we should be doing. There are some positive developments that should motivate us under these challenging circumstances. China, where this all began in the city of Wuhan, seemed to be well under control of this virus now, with very few cases emanating from that country. Likewise, South Korea, Japan, Taiwan, Singapore, all have managed with aggressive steps, with principles of social distancing, and contain the effect of this virus. This goes to show that this virus can be defeated with resolve and determination, which is what our Prime Minister has called for in his speech yesterday. My thanks to our medical team and Dr. Shri and the doctors for the enormous efforts they are taking to provide 24/7 advice and guidance to everyone in fighting this disease. I am confident that we all work together, keeping the interest of our families and communities in mind, and self-regulation is the key mantra at this time. Each one of us have to behave in the most responsible manner and make sure that we don't cause problem to others. If we do that, I am absolutely confident that we can fight this battle. And if every company, every employee, every citizen follows this principle of self-regulation, I think we have the tool necessary to fight this virus. Finally, summing up, what are our priorities now? First and foremost is the safety of our employees, families, and community. Second, we have to keep the wheels of economy going so that we don't add to the problems. So we must cooperate with utmost sincerity and transparency to our customers under these difficult circumstances. We must avoid all unnecessary work, unnecessary gathering, unnecessary meetings, and so on. Most importantly, we must conserve all our financial resources as much as we can, both at the company level and at the individual level. Finally, I'd like to also say that in India, we have seen many inspiring examples where people came together to fight successfully against an unprecedented challenge. The Kargil War, Chennai floods, and the tsunami are vivid in our memory for the spirit that was displayed by our people. I am confident with the same spirit the people of India will fight this contagion. I would like to take this opportunity to all the employees of our company and other stakeholders, our dealers and suppliers, Our best wishes and thank you for your cooperation. Jai Hind.